Sata, and welcome to Wrestling Time Post Show. It is Monday, September 9, 2024, and tonight I'll be talking about Monday Night Raw. Alright, before we get started, I do want to say that I really like the homage that WWE did to Johnny Cordew and his brother Matthew, who tragically passed away August 31st. I thought it was a beautiful tribute, and may they both rest in peace. And then we had some breaking news tonight on Raw. We found out that starting Monday, October 7th, Monday Night Raw will go back to being 2 hours. It will air from 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, starting Monday, October 7th, culminating with the USA Network finale on Monday, December 30th. I don't know if it'll go back to being 3 hours or if it'll permanently stay at 2 hours when it debuts on Netflix, but we are going back to 2 hours for the first time since what I believe 2012. It's been such a long time that Raw has been on 3 hours. I forgot what it's like to have a 2-hour Raw. I'm old enough to remember when Raw was 2 hours and the specials like season premieres or the anniversaries would be 3 hours. But it's been 3 hours since 2012, and it's going to be a nice adjustment to have to go see it for 2 hours. I think it's going to be fantastic, especially if you live on the East Coast. You won't have to stay up till midnight. It's so late now. All right, let's talk about this Intercontinental title contender tournament. It was either Dragunov versus Braun Strowman versus Jey Uso versus Pete Dunne. So I thought this was a fantastic match. This was a really great main event. Pete Dunne got busted open. Bronson Reed came out of nowhere and attacked Braun Strowman, putting him to the announce table here. Jey Uso ends up being victorious, and then afterwards, Monday Night Raw ends with Braun Breaker and Jey Uso having that stare down. Now, I have to say, even though his name is Main Event Jey Uso, he's main evented, but he has yet to win singles gold. I don't think he's beating Braun Breaker. I would be really surprised if he does, but, his impending reunion with Jimmy is coming up maybe soon, and he hasn't won singles gold since he's came to Monday Night Raw. He's won tag team gold with Cody Rhodes, but not singles gold. So, I'm hoping he does win gold. Maybe he will beat Breaker, but I don't think he will. But overall, this was great. What did you guys think of this main event? What did you guys think of Jey Uso becoming number one contender? Let me know in the live chat in the comment section down below. All right, so Monday Night Raw was actually commercial-free for the first hour, and it kicked off with an 8-person mixed tag team street fight. The Wyatt Six versus American Made. This was crazy. I was thinking, how is this gonna work? Because it was a tag match, but it's also a street fight. It was more like a tornado tag match. This was great. I actually really, really like this. I like how in the first half of the match they were focusing on Ivy Nile and Nikki Cross. Some spots that I liked was when American Made was whacking Joe Gacy with the candlesticks while he was inside of a trash can. Another spot that I liked was when Chad Gable did the angle slam to Joe Gacy through a table, and then he put him in the ankle lock. I thought that was really cool. Or I also like when Ivy Niles was whacking Joe Gacy with the candlestick while he was in the ankle lock and stuff like that. This was a really fun match. I think everybody had a good showing during this match. But the Wyatt Six were victorious here, so I wonder if this is the end for American Made and the Wyatt Six. I definitely think that we should move on to a new feud now. I want to see American Made win the tag titles, Ivy Nile win the women's title, and then Chad Gable win some singles gold here too. But this was great. It was a great way to kick off the season premiere of Monday Night Raw. We get a Finn Balor promo, and this is him talking about, and I really like the fact he brought this up. When he was facing Seth Rollins for that world title, he kept saying that Damian Priest was always looking behind him with that briefcase, and that's true. That is so true. Damian Priest was always there with his briefcase. And of course, this is a trap. This is your typical Judgment Day setup. Like, they got Damian Priest to go out there, they got Rhea to go out there, and they were just attacking the Judgment Day. I did like the fact that Damian Priest was protecting Rhea Ripley, and then Jey Uso came on and helped too. So this was a good segment. So we get a Braun Strowman interview, and one of the things I like about this is that Braun Breaker interrupts, and he tells Strowman that he hopes he wins. So I really like this interaction. I definitely wouldn't mind seeing a Braun Breaker versus Braun Strowman match. That's for sure. But then I also like how throughout the night, Braun Breaker kept having interactions with everybody in that match. So you get the women's tag title match is Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair versus the Unholy Union. This is an okay match. Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair do win. And I like how later on in the night, they get an interaction with Damage Control. And basically, Damage Control tell them not to get used to having the tag titles because obviously they're coming after those tag titles. We get an LWO interview, and basically this is to set up Rey Mysterio versus Finn Balor later on in the night. And I like how Rey Mysterio tells Finn Balor to stop hiding behind his stupid son, but he says it in Spanish, so I thought that was hilarious. Since we were in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, so we get a Bret the Hitman Hart segment. We find out tickets to Survivor Series are going on. So this Friday, and Bret talks about how he took pride in being a Canadian champion. He never ducked a challenge, and Canadian champions never duck a challenge and prove themselves every night. And Gunter interrupts here and stuff, which I was surprised that it was Gunter of all people that's interrupted here. And he starts talking about how Bret Hart was a childhood favorite of his. And then, oh my God, Gunter, like, I kid you not, he said that Bret would be his second to his all-time favorite wrestler, Bill Goldberg. Oh my God. Yeah, I cannot believe he said that in front of Bret. Everybody knows how Bret Hart feels about Bill Goldberg. That was crazy that he said that in front of Bret. I was like, oh my God, he did not just say that. He said it. He gets interrupted by Sami Zayn, who was wearing the Johnny Gargano jersey. And basically, he's talking about how Bret was a hero and stuff. And like, as Gunter walks away, Bret Hart calls him a gutless coward, and Sami attacks Gunter. So obviously they're setting up for Sami versus Gunter. Probably a bad blood here, because Sami Zayn was the last man to pin Gunter, so it would make sense that he would challenge for the world title. We get a Pete Dunne segment, and again he has an interaction with Braun Breaker, and I like the fact that Braun Breaker was like, he told him he didn't think much of him when he was rolling with Sheamus, and asked him what Pete Dunne would call himself. You know, Pete Dunne does not like to be called Butch here. And Braun Breaker wishes him luck, and then Pete Dunne gets attacked by Sheamus with the shillelagh. So Sheamus getting his revenge on Pete Dunne attacking him. So we get Dominik Mysterio versus Dragon Lee, and a brawl breaks out between both factions at ringside here. But Dominik Mysterio is victorious here. This is a decent match. I just feel for Dragon Lee. Like, yeah, I feel like he's just kind of there. I know he was North American champion, but that was like, what, last year? He hasn't done much. And the LWO faction, like, they haven't done much either. So, but we'll see where this goes. We got Zelina Vega, Lyra, Valkyria, and a mystery partner they're choosing versus the Pure Fusion Collective. Their mystery partner ends up being none other than Natalya. You know, they are in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And I really like to finish this match. Like, I like the fact that Natty puts Zoe Stark in the sharpshooter. She got the victory for her team. And then Zelina Vega, I believe, was doing the single leg Boston Crab to Sonya. And Lyra was doing it to Shayna Baszler, which I thought was a really cool spot. Like, that visual was really, really cool to see. And like, backstage, Bret gives Natty a hug. I was like, oh, that's so sweet. So, but we'll see. We'll see where they go. I don't know if Lyra and Natty and Zelina are going to be like a permanent faction, especially with Zelina being in the LWO. But we'll have to wait and see where that goes. So we get a Drew McIntyre promo. And one of the things I like about this was like the crowd starts chanting CM Punk, and Drew McIntyre is like encouraging it, telling him to chant louder. But Adam Pearce comes out, and the reason he comes out is because Drew McIntyre, like, he confronts Wade Barrett. Now, you guys remember Wade Barrett stopped Drew McIntyre from hurting CM Punk, and Drew McIntyre told him, told Wade Barrett that he's one of his oldest friends. They've even been arrested together. But if he does it again, he's going to be angry. So I wonder if this is like a tease of maybe like Wade Barrett maybe possibly coming out of retirement to have a match. It seems odd that they would do this for no reason. So like I said, Adam Pearce came out, and we find out that his rivalry, that Punk's rivalry with Drew McIntyre is not over, but he wants it to end at Bad Blood. It's going to be Punk versus McIntyre in a Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood. That's going to be a really good match. I cannot wait. I think that will be the main event. We get a Miz segment. He's talking to Karrion Kross. It seems like Karrion Kross is trying to corrupt the Miz now after he failed to do so with Xavier Woods. I have to say, like, the whole thing with Xavier and Karrion Kross, it seems like to be dropped. That really didn't go in there. I'm sure there were plans involved, but I think with Odyssey Jones possibly getting fired, they put a halt to those plans. But Miz is basically telling Xavier Woods that he's not gonna understand. So I feel like they're gonna split up Awesome Truth, and Miz is gonna go back to being a heel, which is what he does best. We also find that Kofi Kingston got them an opportunity at the tag titles. We get Finn Balor versus Rey Mysterio, and both factions were banned from Ringside because of what happened earlier. And Rey Mysterio ended up winning by DQ because Finn Balor put Rey Mysterio in a vertical Boston Crab, and he refused to let go, so I've had no choice but to call for the bell. And it's like Finn Balor showing a vicious side to him, because even after like the match was over, he did a running drop kick to Rey Mysterio, sending him into the ring post, and then he kicked him into the ring apron. So like he's definitely was sending Rey Mysterio a message here. Maybe we're gonna have the LWO versus Judgment Day. We get an Ilja Dragunov interview. And he's talking about how he almost missed the opportunity to participate in the #1 Contenders tournament because of Judgment Day. He talks about the unfinished business that he has with Braun Breaker, but Braun Breaker interrupts him and reminds him that they don't have unfinished business because he beat him already. But if he wants, he can get beaten again to be his guest. And I'm gonna stop there because I already talked about the main event. So overall, I thought tonight's Raw was pretty enjoyable. There really wasn't much that I disliked about tonight. But I will say I felt like the opening match was really, really good, and so was the main event. For this being the season premiere, they really knocked it out of the park. I mean, it was great that Natty got her a hometown entrance. And they really didn't care for the match. It was more for Natty. So this was okay. So on a scale from a 1 to a Sean Spears perfect 10, I'm going to give this an 8.5. I thought this was a really good episode of Monday Night Raw. Hopefully the season premiere of SmackDown is just as good, but I'm not holding my breath. But thank you guys all so much for watching and for the continued support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever I go live or release a new video. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. I won't see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye. I'll see you guys Wednesday after AEW Dynamite. Bye.